Okay, it's part 2, August 14th, 2012, cryptic predictions. All right, so now that I've told you what is expected of you as a person who has suffered a great loss, a loss of someone that you loved very much that didn't have to be lost in that way, you should be so angry. This is the bottom line to what I said in part 1. You should be so angry you want to overthrow the United States of America and the state and cities that you're in, period. I don't care how nice your mayor is in Aurora, Colorado, or how nice your governor is, or how nice your president supposedly is. None of them have a right to their job right now. None of the House of Representatives, none of the state legislatures of all 50 states. This is a very, very big peaceful coup d'etat that I'm asking the people of the United States to do. It doesn't take a lot, just what Gandhi did. What Gandhi always suggested, non-cooperation. What are the people that are in business have to rely on their employees, but they keep you working because you're under the pressure to pay that crazy rent. And I'm talking about the regular workers of the United States, the people on federal wage control that are being paid only what the federal government says should be the national, average of wages. Also, there's no program that actually protects your previous work. It isn't enough that you're being paid minimum wage. It isn't enough that you're being paid any kind of wages. When you work, no amount of money is going to compensate a person for the physical labor they have done. I don't care who they are. There isn't any way to really gauge that. So, you have to have laws in place that protect, and this is what I call my labor work equity law. And the reason I call it labor work, and I use the term twice, is because it's labor, it's work. Labor means work, work means labor. But I call it labor work equity law because when you donate and sacrifice X amount of months or years, like you're not going to work at Jack in the Box the rest of your life unless you really want to work your way up and be a CEO there or at McDonald's or Burger King or Carl's Jr. or Starbucks. Some people really have grander motivations. I won't call them dreams because dreams are something you wake up from, but they have grander ideas of what they want to do, and they have a right to have that. They have a right to think any of those things, that they are capable of doing more than what they're doing in a chumpy job that anybody can do just about. So in order to do this, you need people that are what I call in government, at all levels of government, sequential order programmers and sequential order testing units that deal out, you might say, commands to federal, state, and local agencies and federal, state, and local representatives that when they make new laws, that the law has to be tested in a small town first before you actually open it up into a full-fledged law. Because many of the laws that are authored by many different people sometimes end up being we can't enforce that law because it's too complex. And what are we going to do? Arrest everybody because everybody's doing it? Seatbelt laws, helmet laws. People know they have to or should be wearing a helmet. But what for? People know that if they don't wear a helmet, they're probably more prone to probably have an accident. And the reason these laws came into view is because certain people got hurt, and then they ended up being a burden on the welfare program, disability program, and there were too many people going on disability programs. Actually, if you counted the number of people that law came into view because of this so-called disability programs, I think you'll find that these laws are unnecessary. There was a little baby girl in an auto wreck just yesterday. She got ejected from the car because she wasn't wearing her seatbelt. Same age as the little girl who died at the Aurora Theater. You people just don't have a blueprint. None of these candidates. I want to see, and everybody should be able to see, a huge theater size, and I say this sarcastically, the size of a theater screen plan, a blueprint. I want to see theater size screen in homage to the people that died in Aurora, because that's what they were looking at, the theater screen, when some of them died. I want to see a blueprint that big that the whole country, each citizen can look at very seriously and either make suggestions about how to change it or whatever. We have computers that can sort the suggestions all out. The technology that we have today is amazing. And we can pretty much solve all the world's problems, not just the US, but all the world's problems if we use the technology right. And that's where I come in. I have used the technology right to make these predictions, but nobody believes me. So that's fine. You deserve all the shootings, you deserve the violence, you deserve losing your loved ones, but you're not reacting in the right way when it happens. Carry your signs. We want a revolution. We want to overthrow the United States government, the federal government, the state governments, and the local governments. They're not efficient enough. We want to institute, what does the Declaration of Independence say? We want to institute new guidelines to secure our blessings of liberty. But these are high-sounding words. Blessings of liberty. What is it? What the hell does that mean? Who blesses liberty? Who? God? That God has blessed us with liberty? That's a bunch of malarkey. We bless ourselves with liberty by interpreting it correctly and making the correct laws that protect us all to enjoy that liberty, to enjoy the fruits of your labor. This is where I get back to talking about my work equity law. You should not only be paid your minimum wage, there should be a way to add up all the physical work you have added up. Social Security does that. Before you collect Social Security, you have to have so many labor hours logged up. See, so they're already doing that, but they haven't put that in the right place. So that when you are hurt, you cannot necessarily have to go to Social Security and ask to be on disability or anything. You can take those hours and say, put it in a petition for redress of grievance, go to the federal government and say, look, these are how many hours I spent my whole life, and now there was a fire, and in California they don't give fire victims any victim assistance program. They do it for other types of violent victim assistance, but they don't do it for arson. So the person who had the house usually is supposed to have insurance to take care of the arson that took place. The insurance companies are now getting very crafty, and they're starting to reword that arson clause in their insurance contracts. See, that everybody changes things just to save money when you aren't saving the life of a person. You're actually impeding and predatorizing the right of a person to enjoy the fruits of their labor. And that should be, above all, protected first off, front line defense. But instead of that, we have candidates like Obama, candidates like Romney, candidates like all the candidates like Bush, candidates like Clinton, candidates all the way back to Truman, Eisenhower, doesn't matter. And so all these people running for office, and they're telling you, remember what they say, that insanity is practicing the same thing and doing the same thing over and over again, thinking you'll get different results. You're all insane. You're still voting by the electoral college system. Like I said, if there's that many people out there that have lost that many people, they're in the example, comparative example of 58 mass shootings, there should be enough people out there to make a real big impression on not just Washington, but your state and local, that you are really hacked off and you want something more intelligent to be in charge of making sure this kind of thing doesn't happen anymore. But instead, people go bury the dead, go cry, boo-hoo, boo-hoo, get over your grieving, months pass, and then you go on with your life. Because it's going to happen to the victims, survivors as well. We're all going to die. So, but instead of people using intelligent common sense, they just go right back to practicing the same thing over and over again. So long as you don't interrupt my pretty car that I'm driving, interrupt my stressful life that I've given myself by paying $200, $300, $400 a month, and crazy amounts of registration for the vehicle, and crazy amounts of insurance for the vehicle, and on and on and on. Put all these extra stress-mounted activities that you have placed on yourself. I'm going to stop for a second, just for a second, and collect some more thoughts. All right, so we're now at 11 minutes into the recording. So, what's more to talk about? The people that need to see all of my videos cannot make up, because YouTube mixes it up so much on the right-hand side. The main videos on the left-hand side, like my giant letter to the White House, Clinton White House in 1993, it's the same format. YouTube is using the same format as the format that I used to warn the White House cryptically about the future 9/11 event that was going to happen using airplanes. Oh yeah, I said that in one of the letters. But anyway, and I even may have mentioned the 9/11 as being the date of the month. But anyway, but I think I also interpreted, when I was trying to interpret that cryptic prediction that came out of me, I also mentioned, I think, 2009 and 2011 as an event that might take place that would involve the World Trade Center. But there was something else working in the background of the World Trade Center that came to the surface later. But but anyway, so I have all these plans. You can listen to my videos, and I know that they sound choppy, and I know that the ideas bounce from one subject matter to another, sometimes very quickly, and sometimes I never go back to the original subject. But all of that is on purpose, because it's part of the cryptic predictions. It's something that most government agencies will probably never have a handle on it, because even the quantum physicists, because they don't know what they're working with. But I do. I finally do know exactly what we're working with. And this is where they have failed. And the reason that they're ignoring me now, and maybe even have given directives saying, ignore this guy, blah, 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 for whatever reason, stupid reason they give, like that he's crazy, whatever they're trying to flim-flam and brainwash people to believe that I am. I'm not. I'm a very down-to-earth guy, and I really do know what I know. And these people have lost it. And the sad part about this, you know, here's the really sad part about all of this. At 13 minutes into the video, we all have this capability. All of us. You just need to talk to the right person to reconfigure the brain synapses in your brain. And how that's done is through information. Now, once people listen to me in the right way, first of all, they have to prepare themselves, and then they open their mind, they listen very carefully, and they make notes. Their subconscious DNA that works just like the 99th monkey philosophy will pick up on all of the things they're supposed to, and they become educated from what I now, well, what people will say about me that I claim to know. I don't know everything, but I do know a hell of a lot more than people that are running things, because they don't know how to run things. They haphazardly run things, and whatever good they do is undone by the evil that accompanies their other decisions. Other decisions involving soldiers, wars, how to stop it. There's easy. When people see me in action, and they see what I would do in Afghanistan, no one will want to run a war ever again. And it has nothing to do with, chemical warfare or anything like that. It's far more. What I would do is truly classified as the ultimate in terrorism. Because it has to do with DNA. The almost endless, vast DNA information that's available to all of us. Every last person, even the people that are autistic or retarded or mentally challenged, as they call it now. So there you have it, 2 videos recorded on August the 14th, 2012. If you want to really take charge of the United States again, and you want to go in the right direction, you have to pick one person. For me, in my view, if you're going to pick me, you're going to have to draft me. You're going to have to institute and circulate a petition for redress of grievance to the government, and with every signature of every voter in the United States to say you have had enough, you want a peaceful coup d'etat, you want to overthrow the federal government, and you want to do it in steps, of course. You don't want to just declare a martial law and do it across every state in the union. You want to do it in steps, but you want to do it with the person in charge at the very highest level. And you're going to give that kind of authority to this person. And it's not going to be Obama. It's not just going to be a poor person like me. It might even be a body of people, because if you pick me, that's exactly what's going to happen. Because I have to go out and find sequential order programmers that are going to make sure that we don't make any decisions that might topple things, because I'm sure the government does this already, that might topple things financially, and be careful about which actions we produce or suggest that have to be implemented first before any other actions are. And in order to do that, like I said, you have to have a theater-sized screen. Show us your blueprint, Mr. Obama. Show us your blueprint, Mr. Romney. I don't see you. And show us the connections between the blueprint and what areas are going to be greatly affected financially by these new safeguards that you plan to implement. Show us all of it. I'm not showing it because I have a right to not show it, because civil rights were violated over and over again. My life was destroyed, and it's still being destroyed to this day. And not one person in absolute power or great power has contacted me at YouTube and said, I'm so-and-so, I've listened to your tape, I've taken notes, you know what, I'll give you a choice. We can help you to try and get into this position of absolute power, or here's the money to leave the United States. And I'm going to tell you right up front, I'll probably choose to leave forever, because I don't want to deal with you people. You've already done too much damage, and you can't undo the damage. But if you draft me, I'll consider it. And it has to be a unanimous draft from every living person that votes here and now. And that's the speech for today. Talk to you later.